morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to episode 34 of the Locks of the Day podcast. We only got two of us today, just me and Zach. Angela went on a quick little vacation. So no tennis today. So we'll still have the original hockey, NBA, college basketball, and soccer. Um, so we'll basically just kick right off into things. I'll rip the NHL three-star real quick. Tonight we'll be taking the Oilers money line at minus 135. They're playing the Devils. I'm going to keep this one simple here. It's just a season splitter. Devils won the first game 3-0. That was also at the beginning of the season. And the Oilers were without McDavid. With McDavid, I expect the Oilers, I expect a different outcome here. Oilers have been solid all year, averaging 3.25 goals a game, which is currently ninth best in the league. Oilers have also been pretty solid on the road, 17, 12, and 2 with record, and Devils have been struggling recently against top teams, especially Western teams. Their last like three games, they played Vegas, Dallas, and Winnipeg all in a row, and they lost all three of those. Once again, all Western Conference teams, just like Edmonton. So I expect the Oilers to come out here and get a quick dub at a minus 135. So lock that in as a 3-unit play. And Zach will hit you with a two-star.
Yeah, so we're gonna swing that one on over. It's gonna be the Lightning money line, minus 165 is that current line. They're playing at Philadelphia tonight. They lost the first one in this series, 2-1 in a shootout to Philadelphia at home in November. But these two teams look in a much different place from where they were 4 months ago, right around there. At this point, Tampa Bay is gearing up for the playoffs. Philadelphia has traded their guys away at the deadline. They're gearing up for a rebuild, and they're both kind of on separate ends. I mean, Philly's lost five in a row. They've put up 8 goals in 5 games. So they're averaging about 1.3 to 1.4 goals. Tampa Bay's been kind of turning it up, but they have had a little bit of tough run in. They played Carolina, lost, Boston lost, but they were coming off some solid wins before that. But they're just trying to gel together with some new guys. But last time these two guys played, like I said, Flyers got a 2-1 upset victory in a shootout. I don't see that happening again. Tampa Bay solid in goals per game with 3.5. Philly's kind of the opposite. They're letting up 3.3 per game. Philly's also struggled to score. Tampa Bay's got a solid defense, solid goalie. They're on the older side, but they're only giving up 2.6 per game. So the Lightning here, the value's it's a little bit much, but minus 165, we'll take it, and we're going to ride with it. So Lightning minus 165 is our two-star.
Yeah, I loved that line last night when I was looking at everything. I was like, if you don't pick that, that's going to be a one-star automatically. Had to, I love that line minus 165. But we'll jump right into NBA here. I'll kick you off with a three-star. It's going to be a player prop. Didn't really like today's games as much. Kind of some big spreads and looked like a couple trap lines, but I'll be giving you Cameron Johnson of the Brooklyn Nets, 25 plus points, assists, rebounds on a minus 140. Uh, Nets are playing the Bulls for the final time this year. Cam Johnson only played in the first game. He had that sprained ankle a couple months ago. But in that first game, he finished with 14 points, 6 boards, and 5 assists. That's exactly what we need. That's 25. Bulls, uh, kind of bad. Defensively, they can score. They're actually pretty good, like offensively, but defensively, they give up the second most points in the league at 120 points per game, which is kind of crazy because they're only zero point 0.3 points behind the Wizards. And that's saying something because they're terrible. They've only won like a handful of games this year. But a couple guys being out for the Bulls, one being Josh Giddey, who's pretty solid defensively. He'd probably be guarding Cam Johnson. So. And I think Vucevic might be on restricted minutes because he's just coming back from an injury. I know he only played a little bit over 20 minutes. So I think that's going to also open up a couple rebounds, probably maybe some points too for Cam Johnson. But looking at his last three games, Cam has hit over 25 points, assists, rebounds in all of his last three. So I think he continues the hot streak. Uh, and in March, he's averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, which would put him at 26.5. So I love the over of 25 here. I think he just keeps ripping. So Cam Johnson, 25 plus points, assists, rebounds, minus 140. Zach, give him a two.
Yeah, we're taking you to our primetime game tonight. We're going to go Lakers plus 6.5. The line has gone up a little bit. They're playing the Milwaukee Bucks. They're on the road in this one. And the injury report is a lengthy one. So Lakers are going to be without Jackson Hayes, LeBron, Rui Hachimura, and Maxi Kleber. But with LeBron out, that tells me that Luka Doncic is going to play because he's a game time decision almost every game. On the other side of things, the Bucks pretty much only have Bobby Portis out because he got suspended for 25 games. Other than that, kind of super similar. Like Lillard's on game time decision, Giannis is a game time decision. If anything, just because this is a primetime game, I could see both of them playing, but I very easily could see one of them both going out, being that the Lakers have one of their star players out. But the Lakers haven't played with LeBron for a couple of games, and they've been pretty competitive. I mean, they're pretty much rolling out with the all white boy lineup. It's pretty much Luka Doncic, Alex Len, Dalton Connect, Austin Reeves, and Gabe Vincent. So they're rolling out four of the five, and they're getting some. It's an interesting lineup, one that we usually don't see. But then they've got some decent players coming off the bench. But their lineup is thin, but they are very competitive. And this team kind of took a switch pretty much once Luka kind of came over. Even the games where Luka wasn't playing, it was just his presence kind of helped them out a little bit. But I do think that the way in this direction that this team is headed, I think I like the way the Lakers are playing in this matchup. I think they have a lot of points that they're getting. I also think a big thing too is that Milwaukee has struggled against Western Conference opponents. So I think that's one thing to take into accountability when looking at this game as well. Even though it is 6.5 to 7 points, that I could still see the Bucks winning this game, but only by a couple points because they wanted to keep a primetime game close. So Lakers plus 6.5 at a minus 110, I think is a pretty solid play here.
Love that.
So,
Um, I know you got some soccer locks, so
oh yeah,
give them what they want.
we're gonna rip right into those because we are in an interesting a territory for soccer. We're ripping soccer last week. We're up a bunch of units. We're telling you guys, hey, we're ripping. Well, as soon as we started ripping, we went right down the pooper. Couple bad days, and I'm like, oh, we got to find the magic. And then what did we do? We sweep yesterday, go up 6 units, and then we're right back in it. So today, as I pull it up here, our first one is going to be Real Sociedad to advance. This is going to be in the Europa League at a plus 170. That is going to be the first play of the day. So they're playing Manchester United. So you're thinking to yourself, why? Why am I going to bet against Manchester United at home in Champions, a double legger? And here's why. They've struggled. They have struggled immensely. They have not been a very good team this year. I think at this point, they've got a lot of guys unhappy. They have a lot of guys set to hit the transfer window coming up soon. Uh, they just need a new look. I do believe that they do have a good team, but they can't score. And when they do score, they're giving up a lot of goals. I think last week when they played Sociedad, Sociedad has kind of struggled in La Liga. They are also ninth in there, but you have a team like that when you look at them, when they come ready for European competition, they're averaging 1.75 goals on the road. They're giving up right around the same, about 1.5, but I do expect that this game is going to probably go into extra time, could go into PKs, and I'm looking at who has the better goalie, and I like Sociedad's odds. Manchester United fans have really torn apart their goalie this year, and I mean, he's a younger guy, so I can't really blame him too much, but it's tough for me to sit there and try to take a team like Manchester United that's struggled as much as they have, and they're a minus 105, but that's a 90-minute money line. And if you want to take them to advance, they're like a minus 220. There's not really much you could do with a minus 210 rating. So, yeah, Sociedad here, I think it is a great play. I think you're getting good value. And that's his name. Andre Onana is Manchester United's goalie name. I was drawing a blank for the longest time. That's why I didn't say his name at first. Now I got it. But he has just kind of struggled this year, but he also doesn't have too much in front of him. But he's a guy from Cameroon. He's pretty solid on their national team as well. But yeah, I think Sociedad plus 170, I think is just solid here. I think they're going to come out. I think this game's going to be a lot more competitive too than people think. I think people see that line of, oh, Man United is minus 105. They're this high of a favorite for a reason, but don't be fooled. A lot of these Premier League teams have gone into Manchester United and they put up goals. And I wouldn't be surprised if aside from La Liga comes in and also puts up, one or two goals and gives these guys a tough game because they've had some tough losses. They struggled with Ipswich last week. So kind of shows you where Manchester United's kind of at. So
Mm.
Real Sociedad minus 170 or plus 170, 3 star. And then the 2 star, we'll keep it nice, easy, short, simple. It's going to be Rangers and Fenerbahce, if I said that right. Over 2.5 goals, minus 150. With this one, it's a pretty simple one. If Fenerbahce's down 3-1 on aggregate, I'm a little bit surprised that the Rangers went into Turkey and actually took them down 3-1. Fenerbahce is a very well coached side with Jose Mourinho as manager, but both these teams score like crazy. They each have pretty much right around 70 plus goals in their respective leagues. And I see pretty much the overhead again in this one. They're going into Scotland now. And Rangers are going to score, but Fenerbahce's going to put on pressure. They're going to have a team where they're going to be desperate. They're going to be down 2 goals and they're going to be pressing. And when you press, do you score? Yes, but you also give up a lot of counterattacks, which counterattacks result in other goals. I could see this game being a 3-2 game, maybe a 2-2 game, but I do see Rangers pulling it off. But there's a reason why the over is this high because these two teams are going to score and they're going to score quick. So we're going Rangers and Fenerbahce over 2.5 at a minus 150 for your soccer slate today.
Love it, love it, love it. Lock those in. So we're gonna swing into final little college basketball. March Madness rolling around the corner, so time to lock the fuck in now. So 3 star for college ball will be Cal State Northridge money line on minus 155. They're playing UC Santa Barbara. I'm gonna keep this quick during conference play. Um, Cal State Northridge won both games. Won by 7 at UC SB, and then won at home by 26. And looking at those two games, and even though Cal State isn't the tallest team, they out rebounded heavily against Santa Barbara. In the first game by 17, the second game by 20. And out of those rebounds, they were grabbing 16 offensive rebounds one game and 11 the second game. So that's going to allow second chance scoring all day. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen tonight. Cal State Northwest, they just play gritty. Like they're literally, what I said again, they're not the tallest team. They just get it done. They're well coached. They're not a senior heavy team. They mesh well. They've been playing for I think a year or so, a good 5 or 6 of them. So it's a solid squad here. So I love their money line. They've been good all year long too. They've been covering spreads. Pretty sure they're at like a 68 percentage right now for against the spread. That's like top. I think that was like top 10 in all of college ball. So they're a very trustworthy team here, and I think they're going to go deep in their conference play and in their conference tourney, and they might shock a couple teams in the big dance if they can get there. So lock in Cal State Northridge money line minus 155. And Zach, give him a 2 star.
Yeah, so our 2 star, we're not afraid to give you some pluses today. We're going Abilene Christian's money line at a plus 190. So that is going to be out of the whack. That is the quarterfinals, and they're playing the University of Seattle. Normally we would give you a safer player, at least I would have, the +6 in this situation. But I love this line. These two teams have played each other twice already this year. Abilene Christian was a 10-point dog going into Seattle, lost by 2 on a buzzer beater. They played these guys at home, beat them by 16 at home. Seattle's been probably one of the weirdest teams I think I've seen this year. They're not a bad team, but God, do the books love these guys. I don't understand why they make them favorites in so many games, and they make them heavy favorites. You look at non-conference play, don't know how many games these guys were favored and that they ended up losing. I mean, even these games as 5, 6, 7 point dogs. And then in conference play, they looked seemingly average. They finished 13 and 17. They went 8 and 8 in conference play. And this team's nothing special. And they're playing on a neutral site in Vegas. And they still made them a 6 point favorite against the team that they've lost to recently by 16 and who they only beat by 2. So I think this game's going to be competitive. Abilene Christian's a well-coached team. They played in the NCAA tournament just 2, 3 years ago, and they won that game as well. So they're well-coached, and I could see them very easily winning this game, which is why I like it so much. They're putting up 70 points a game. They're giving up just below 70, but they have a higher field goal percentage. They are better defensively. They get more steals. They have more blocks. They average more assists, and they average more turnovers, or sorry, turnovers forced per game. Let me specify that. Turnovers forced per game. They have them in almost every statistical category, and they have them as a massive underdog. And they're also coming off a big win to end their season against Grand Canyon. So they're playing their best basketball of the season. So that's what I'm looking for in Abilene Christian here. I mean, plus 190, we love the value. And I mean, I especially love the value. I'm not taking up a lock, but we're damn close to it. So yeah, Abilene Christian plus 190 is going to be your 2 star.
Yes, and you got anything else to add for today?
I think that pretty much wraps it up. I would just want to tell the people that stay tuned in the next week or two for our MLB futures podcast. It's going to be a mix of pretty much anything that you guys want to hear. I would say I know there's not too many of us that comment down below, but the ones that do, I would say feel free if you guys want to hear certain future bets from us. Feel free if it's going to be, like an MVP, a most improved, wins over, under, whatever it might be. If you guys want certain ones, feel free and we'll try to drop those down there for you once we make that video.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait for this MLB season to start. It's got a lot of potential, so that's going to be fun. But that will wrap up podcast number 34. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Follow us on every social, Instagram at Locks of the Day. Uh, but that's gonna wrap up everything. Have a good day. Lock it in. We'll see you. Peace.